The excerpt describes computer-mediated communication or CMC, which involves using digital tools for information exchange among individuals or groups. It covers various methods like email, social media, and video conferencing, enabling interaction irrespective of physical distance. The electronic propinquity theory by Karenzi explores how CMC replicates face-to-face communications effectiveness. Clark, Stoyanova, and Kramer's study during the pandemic suggest that digital connections can encourage adherence to physical distancing. The study investigates technology's role in enhancing social connectedness and support during the pandemic's strict protocols. It delves into the impact of different communication channels on individuals' well-being, aligning with the electronic propinquity theory's belief in technology fostering emotional closeness in the absence of physical gatherings.
Good day, I'm Silver and I will be talking about the summary of the article Putting the Social Back into Physical Distancing, the Role of Digital Connections in a Pandemic Crisis. So, the article delves into how digital communication impacts social connectedness amid the COVID-19 pandemic. By applying the electronic propinquity theory, the research investigates whether technology-mediated communication reinforces social support amidst the tight physical distancing rules. Surveys were conducted during the pandemic to explore the link between technology-based communication and compliance with distancing policies. They had over 526 people living in Germany to participate in the survey, where most of them were re- recruited via social media platforms. The study's process received approval from the Ethics Committee of the Department of Computer Science and Applied Cognitive Science in the University of Duisburg-Essen. It adhered to institutional research committee standards and complied with the 1964 Helsinki Declaration, along with subsequent amendments. All adult participants provided informed consent for their involvement in the study, while children were not permitted to take part. So the study employs a path analysis and repeated measures to examine the effects of different communication channels, the such as the audiovisual and the text-based communication. However, the findings of the study indicated an unexpected result. Their hypothesis where audiovisual communication would have more impact rather than text-based communication was greatly challenged, as the study shows that text-based communication indirectly encouraged adherence to physical distancing by enhancing feelings of social support and life satisfaction. However, subsequent surveys revealed a decline in both technology-driven communication and adherence to distancing measures over time. Despite increased perceptions of social support, regarding theoretical significance, the key discovery indicates that solely the frequency of text-based communications, not audiovisual communication, indirectly reduced individuals' inclination to breach distancing regulations by enhancing social support and life satisfaction. This contradicts the electronic propinquity theory by Corzeni on the year 1978 and its subsequent interpretations by Walther and Bazzanora on the year 2008, which suggests that utilizing higher bandwidth channels would amplify perceived closeness. Ultimately, this study challenges assumptions regarding the effectiveness of audiovisual communication in compensating for physical distancing. It underscores the significance of text-based communication in fostering social support during crisis and highlights its role in influencing adherence to distancing measures. That would be Thank you.
And as for our article critic, the paper titled Putting the Social Back into Physical Distancing, the Role of Digital Connections in a Pandemic Crisis, presents a study that investigates the impact of technology-based communication on individuals' adherence to physical distancing measures during the COVID-19 pandemic. In terms of validity, the study employs a path analysis and repeated measures, ANOVAs or analysis of variance. It is a tool used in statistics that split unobserved aggregate variability found inside a data, which are appropriate statistical methods for examining the relationships between variables. The use of standardized and well-validated scales for measuring constructs enhances the validity of the study. However, it is important to note that the study relies on self-reported measures, which may be subject to recall bias and social desirability bias. And in terms of reliability, the study reports Cronbach's alpha values for the scales used, indicating acceptable internal consistency. The authors also mention implementing quality checks to filter out participants who were not sufficiently diligent in their responses. However, the self-report nature of the data collection method may introduce some measurement error and potential inconsistencies.
In terms of generalizability, the article's conclusions have significance outside of the pandemic context. They might be applicable in a variety of scenarios needing rigorous physical separation. In acknowledgement of biases and factors, to ascertain the variations that may affect the results, more research is necessary to fully examine the applicability to a range of populations. In this study, the participants were predominantly female and highly educated, which may not represent the broader population. Additionally, the study was conducted in Germany with specific lockdown restrictions that differed from other countries. Apart from demographics, this study also failed to consider other factors that might influence an individual's decision, such as their personality traits or pre-existing mental health conditions, and other influential factors impacting the results. This article integrates the Social Information Processing Theory or SIP into its findings. SIP is a framework that explains how individuals process and interpret social information, particularly in computer-mediated communication. SIP suggests that people adopt to the lack of nonverbal cues in online interactions by developing strategies to interpret and convey emotions, intentions, and social cues through text-based communication. In relation, the article likely used SIP as a theoretical lens to understand how digital connections like email, social networking sites, or instant messaging can compensate for physical distancing by facilitating social support and maintaining social connections during a crisis like the COVID-19 pandemic. By integrating SIP, the article emphasizes the importance of text-based communication in fostering social connections despite physical separation, aligning with the theory's premises about adapting to and effectively utilizing online communication for social interaction. However, a more comprehensive exploration and comparison with other relevant theories could provide a broader understanding of the phenomenon beyond SIP's scope. In terms of ethics, ethicality of data collection is not explicitly outlined, but the article mentioned obtaining informed consent and excluding children from participation. Protection of participants' rights and privacy. The article didn't disclose any details regarding the measures taken to safeguard confidentiality and anonymity. The same goes for the conflict of interest and funding resources.
Conclusion and recommendation. Regular text-based communication, such as Sims and instant messaging, is more effective than higher bandwidth channels, such as video calls, in promoting compliance by enhancing life satisfactions and social support. So, the possible reason for this is that texting is more comfortable and convenient method of communication compared to video calling. It allows for instant messaging, allowing for more focus and flexibility. Texting also allows for more personal expression and customization, making communication clearer and better. Video calling, on the other hand, is limited and can be boring due to connection issues. Texting is also more helpful and friendly, fostering closer connections and sharing support. In contrast, video calling is more formal and rarer, making it less natural and potentially causing feelings of jealousy or loneliness. And second is that the study also finds that some aspect of well-being, such as psychological flourishing, may reduce compliance by increasing the desire for physical contact. The study contributes to the literature by using an interdisciplinary and longitudinal approach to understand the role of digital connections in the pandemic crisis. Okay, this study shows how people well-being affects the behavior during a pandemic. People who feel happier and more fulfilled may follow the rules less because they want to see their family more. This study is different from others because it uses different methods and follows people over time to see how digital connections help them cope with the crisis. So lastly is that the study has some limitations such as the lack of generalizability and the possibility of confounding factors that limit its applicability to other contexts. The study suggests the policymakers and practitioners should support mediated communication, especially text-based compliance, and counteract the decline in willingness to isolate. Okay, it means that it tells about uh, that we should encourage people to use text messages and other online ways to communicate during a pandemic that can help follow the rules and stay isolated more longer.